Welcome to your ultimate pit stop, Piston Pundit. Today, we're diving into the EV landscape. Despite high expectations, EVs are piling up at dealerships. Dealers are struggling to sell them and profits are slim. Meanwhile, automakers are pushing dealers to invest heavily in EV infrastructure and training. We're here to discuss 6 reasons why Ford and GM dealers are navigating an EV crisis. Reason number 6. The EV Conundrum, a supply-demand mismatch. The EV market isn't accelerating as fast as automakers had hoped. Instead, we're seeing a surplus of EVs gathering dust in dealerships. Dealers are bearing the brunt of this situation. They're struggling to sell EVs, and when they do, the profits are minimal. To add fuel to the fire, automakers are pressuring dealers to invest heavily in EV infrastructure and staff training. It's a bumpy ride, and that's why Ford and GM dealers are feeling the heat and calling for roadside assistance. Dealers are feeling the heat from the EV market due to a significant imbalance between supply and demand. The once rapid growth of EVs, often over 90% year-over-year in the US, has slowed down. In 2023, growth decreased to 47%, respectable but lower than expected. Consequently, EVs have yet to cross the 8% threshold of the total car market, a milestone that was expected to have been reached by now. With 2024's growth estimated at just over 30%, the slowdown trend continues. Meanwhile, Ford and GM have heavily invested in new EV technologies and production, significantly increasing their output. This has led to a supply that's 500% higher than just a year ago, contributing to dealers' concerns about an impending EV disaster. This imbalance between supply and demand is one of the key reasons why dealers are bracing themselves for what they believe is an inevitable EV catastrophe. Reason number 5. The challenge of selling EVs and the overflowing dealer lots. The imbalance between supply and demand has left dealers in a bind. As supply chains stabilized and production ramped up, dealers filled their lots with EVs. However, sales fell short of expectations as demand cooled, leaving dealers with a surplus of EVs. Take the Baxter Auto Group from Nebraska, for example. When the all-electric F-150 Lightning was launched, the dealer had over 200 refundable orders. But as Ford struggled to meet demand and potential buyers became aware of the pickup's shortcomings, the list dwindled. The group of 20 dealerships managed to sell just 25 all-electric F-150s last year, compared to over 1,000 internal combustion F-Series models. Today, the dealer has 12 electric F-150 pickups in stock and is struggling to sell them. At the current pace, it will take at least 6 months to sell these 12 units, despite discounts of up to $14,000, plus a $7,500 federal tax credit. Reason number 4. The hefty investments required by Ford and GM from dealers. EVs represent a seismic shift in the automotive industry. To keep pace, dealers are required to make substantial investments to sell EVs. Ford, for instance, initiated an EV eligibility program, necessitating dealers to invest between $500,000 and $1.2 million. However, with the slower-than-expected growth of EVs, many dealers are reconsidering these hefty investments. Reports suggest that the number of dealers willing to sell EVs has halved, especially since Ford has postponed some EV investments and the Biden administration has abandoned its rapid electrification plan. GM's situation is even more challenging. The company is struggling to sell EVs based on its new Ultium technology. In a desperate bid to boost sales, GM tried to force dealers to sell EVs, leading to a backlash. Buick, for example, lost half of its dealers in the last year after issuing an ultimatum to dealers to invest $400,000 and start selling EVs or opt for a buyout program. Before we delve deeper, do us a favor and smash that like and subscribe button. This helps us reach more auto enthusiasts just like you. Now let's shift gears and steer towards our next point. Reason number 3. The GM EV Conundrum. GM dealers are wrestling with more than just inventory issues when it comes to selling EVs. The crux of the problem lies in the new generation of EVs, particularly those powered by GM's Ultium battery technology. These EVs are accumulating at dealerships not just due to slow sales, but also because dealers are struggling to resolve numerous issues, leaving these EVs stranded at dealerships for weeks. GM's latest models have proven to be extremely unreliable, with major software issues leading to multiple revisions and updates. This has escalated to the point where infotainment systems no longer support third-party services like Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Models like the Chevy Blazer EV and Cadillac Lyriq have shown such vulnerability that GM had to halt sales just a few months after their initial launch. Meanwhile, dealers are expending their time and resources trying to fix these endless problems. Reason number 2: the salesman's struggle. From a salesperson's viewpoint, selling EVs has added a layer of complexity to their job. Selling traditional combustion engine cars was straightforward, often sealed with a single dealership visit. However, with EVs, the process is far from simple, turning into a daunting task for salespeople. EVs, being a novel technology, require potential buyers to invest time in understanding the new tech, trying it out, and seeking answers to numerous questions. This typically translates to multiple dealership visits before a final decision is made. As we've mentioned before, Buzz Smith, a former salesman turned EV dealer trainer, succinctly encapsulated the issue. He noted that while gas-powered car purchases are usually completed in one visit, EV purchases require an average of 4 visits. This means salespeople have to invest 4 times more effort for the same commission, effectively taking a voluntary 75% pay cut. It's a tough pill to swallow. Reason number 1: the end of dealer markups. Dealers' resistance to EVs is not without reason, but it's only fair to consider profit margins. Rewind a few years, and you'll recall a major supply chain disruption due to COVID-19 and the Ukraine war. Automakers were producing fewer vehicles, yet demand was sky-high. Dealers, especially those selling Ford models like the Mustang Mach-E or Maverick, were making a killing selling cars well above the MSRP. Fast forward to today, with supply chain issues resolved, the golden era of massive markups is over. Dealers can no longer make a quick buck on the hottest models, especially as there are no hot models among EVs currently. With supply significantly outstripping demand and dealer lots overflowing, the market for EVs is lukewarm at best. Add to this the fact that companies are being forced to offer hefty discounts to shift their current inventory, and you can imagine the dwindling enthusiasm dealers have for electric cars. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the automotive world. Don't forget to subscribe to Piston Pundit to stay in the loop with the latest vehicle updates and upcoming videos. Until next time.